Yeah, so a saying that that I've sort of coined in my own head is that when you've got imposter syndrome, everybody else has imposter syndrome, but you're just the imposter. And a little visual that I used to have in my head about imposter syndrome was that if me and my friends were to play like a game of imposter, right? And if it was this theoretical card game, for example, and the dealer will deal the cards out, and me and all my legit mates, they would all get their cards. And the idea would be that everybody turns their card over and they're like, and all my friends go, "Oh man, I'm not an imposter. I've just got imposter syndrome." And they're like, "Oh, Tom, show us your card," kind of thing. And I'd my fucking card would say imposter. Like, no, you're not legit. These guys all have imposter syndrome, but you are actually a fraud and you're actually an imposter and you do not belong here. But they do. And then in this visual that I'd have, I would turn my card over and they'd be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, oh well. Anyway. And then I'll get together and be like, oh my God, I'm so relieved that I've got imposter syndrome, that I'm not the imposter and that it's actually Tom, right? Because, you know, everybody else has it, but you're just the imposter. So the thing about imposter syndrome is just because you've got imposter syndrome doesn't automatically mean that you may not need to do more work on yourself, that maybe there aren't more things you need to improve. But if you're in whatever role you're in, it's because you've earned your way in there, right? Whether you think you've earned it enough or you think you've done enough in that position or you think you've been afforded enough opportunities, that's not for you or I to say, right? That's just the things you're going to make up in your own head. But when it comes to imposter syndrome, you've got to work out if there are things you need to fix, which, like I said, is fine. But make sure that you don't confuse the fact that there's still more work to do with being an imposter. So in the place that I used to work in the army, I was, infantry and special operations. I feel like an imposter in both of those places, but much more in special operations because the caliber of people that I was surrounded by. And for whatever reason, or not whatever reason, but many reasons, I just thought that I wasn't supposed to be there and that I was the imposter, and that every day I went into work, that was finally the day that they were going to find out that I was the imposter and I was just going to be exposed as this big fraud. And the only time that ever happened in inverted commas was when I fucked it up on purpose, because I was, that whole crisis that I went through trying to take my own life, and I did it myself, instead of just going, hey, I earned my way here. I'm allowed to be here. I'm totally good enough to be here because I passed the fucking course. I passed selection, all the courses and reinforcement cycle, and I've now served in the unit and I'm good enough. There are still things that I needed to work on. There are still things that I wasn't quite up to scratch with, and I should have done more to work on those things instead of going, damn it, I'm just an imposter. I'm a fraud. I'm a piece of shit. Everyone hates me, so I'm just going to give up, right? So when you look at yourself like that and we talk about imposter syndrome and you think, well, I don't have it because I'm an imposter, that's imposter syndrome, right? And it doesn't mean that, even if you did play that imposter card game and you got the card that said you've just got imposter syndrome but you are legit, doesn't mean that you can't still work on things, doesn't mean you can't still go and make yourself better. It just means that you're not a total fraud and you're not an imposter. And there's nothing wrong with that.